Ladies and gentlemen, you ever notice how some people walk into a room and suddenly everything changes? The air shifts. People stop scrolling on their phones. Heads turn. And they haven't even said a single word. That's charisma. It's not about fame, money, or looks. It's that unspoken energy that makes people feel like they should pay attention. And here's the truth most people never realize. Charisma is not a gift. It's not something you're born with. It's a skill, a learnable, trainable, buildable skill. There was a study from the University of Lausanne that found over 65% of people believe charisma is the #1 trait in a leader. Not intelligence, not experience, not even success. Charisma, which means if you can master this one thing, you automatically become more influential, more respected, and yes, more magnetic. People listen differently when you talk. They trust your ideas faster. They remember you longer. But here's where everyone screws up. They think being charismatic means being loud, outgoing, or pretending to be someone they're not. No, that's acting. Real charisma doesn't need volume. It needs presence. It's not about trying to impress. It's about being so comfortable in who you are that people feel safe around you. When you walk into a room and you're not desperate for attention, attention naturally comes to you. Funny thing is, most people are terrified of silence. They think being charismatic means talking non-stop, cracking jokes, filling every second with noise. But the most magnetic people, they can hold eye contact, smile slightly, and say absolutely nothing, and still have the whole room locked in. Because people can feel confidence even before they hear it. And that's the beauty of charisma. It's not about what you say, it's about what you project. Your body language, your tone, your energy. You could walk into a meeting, a date, or even a casual hangout, and people will instantly pick up whether you believe in yourself or not. Your energy announces you before your words do. So no, you don't have to be 6 feet tall or have a movie star face. You don't even have to be funny. You just have to understand how to make people feel something when they're around you. Because that's what charisma really is. It's emotional electricity. When you master it, doors open, conversations change, and people start seeing you as someone they just can't ignore. You know what's crazy? There was a survey by the Harvard Business Review that revealed something mind-blowing. People who come across as charismatic are consistently rated as more competent, more intelligent, and more trustworthy than people who actually are those things. Let that sink in. You could spend years building skills, getting degrees, learning everything under the sun. But if you don't know how to make people feel your presence, you'll always lose to the person who does. Picture this. 2 people walk into a job interview. The first one's got the perfect resume, top grades, all the qualifications, but walks in stiff as a brick, talks like a robot, and leaves zero impression. The second guy, he's confident, relaxed, maybe cracks a little joke to break the ice. He leans forward, makes eye contact, actually connects. Guess who they remember at the end of the day? Not the robot, the human. Always the human. Because charisma is emotional memory. It's not what you said. It's how you made people feel when you said it. Studies even show that when people describe someone as charismatic, they're usually talking about 3 things: warmth, confidence, and presence. Not looks, not money, presence. The ability to be so in the moment that everyone else feels pulled into your orbit. But here's the funny thing. Most people completely misunderstand what presence means. They think it means dominating the conversation. No, presence means when you're there, you're actually there. You're not checking your phone. You're not thinking about what to say next. You're fully locked in on the person in front of you. You're listening. Because when you listen, you give someone something that's become rare.
Attention.
And attention, my friend, is power. The world's addicted to noise. Everyone wants to be seen, heard, validated. But the one who listens, the one who actually makes others feel seen, that's the one who becomes unforgettable. And here's the kicker. When you're truly present, you don't have to try to be charismatic. You become charismatic. Your body relaxes. Your words flow naturally. Your humor lands better. Your confidence feels real instead of forced. You become that person people look at and think, man, there's just something about them. And that something isn't luck, it's skill. A skill anyone can build. With practice, with self-awareness, with the decision to stop blending in and start showing up. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Everyone thinks charisma is about talking more, being the loudest in the room, telling the funniest story, being the one everyone hears. Nope. That's not charisma, that's noise. The Journal of Personality and Social Psychology ran a survey and found that people who are great listeners are rated as far more charismatic than those who talk the most. Think about that for a second. The quieter, more observant person, the one who listens deeply, actually leaves a bigger impression than the one doing all the talking. You ever been in a conversation with someone who just waits for you to stop talking so they can start again? It's like they're not even there. They're just loading their next sentence like a weapon. You walk away from that kind of talk feeling drained, right? But when you talk to someone who's genuinely interested, who nods, smiles, reacts naturally, suddenly you feel energized. You walk away thinking, wow, that person's amazing. Even though all they did was listen. That's the charisma paradox. The less you talk about yourself, the more people remember you. Here's a little real-world example. Imagine you're at a party. Most people are doing what they always do, trying to impress others, showing off their achievements, making everything about them. Now you walk in, calm, composed, genuinely curious about people. You ask one person, "So what's something cool you've been working on lately?" They light up. They talk. You listen. You add small comments that show you're really paying attention. 10 minutes later, guess what they're thinking? That person is so interesting. You didn't even say anything special. You just made them feel seen. And people never forget that feeling. There's even science behind it. MIT researchers found that conversations with charismatic people literally trigger dopamine release in the brain, the same chemical that makes us feel pleasure and excitement. That means charisma isn't just emotional, it's biological. You're not just impressing someone, you're rewiring their brain chemistry to associate you with good energy. That's how powerful it is. And here's the part nobody talks about. Charisma isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. People connect to imperfection. They like when you can laugh at yourself, when you're not afraid to admit you messed up. If you can be confident and humble at the same time, you become magnetic because authenticity is rare. Everyone's busy pretending to be something they're not, while the most charismatic people simply own who they are. You don't have to be the funniest, smartest, or most attractive person in the room. You just have to be the most authentic. When you combine that with confidence and presence, boom, you become unstoppable. You don't need to chase attention. Attention starts chasing you. Now let's talk about the physical side of charisma, because charisma isn't just in your words, it's in your presence. Your body speaks before your mouth ever does. Before people hear you, they feel you. And your body language is screaming a message whether you realize it or not. According to research from Princeton University, people form an impression of you in less than 1/10 of a second. That means before you've said hi, they've already decided if you're confident or insecure, dominant or timid, interesting or forgettable. You can't fake that.
You have to embody it.
Here's the truth. Confident people move differently. They don't rush. They don't fidget. They don't shrink into themselves. They move with intention. Every motion says, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. You ever see someone walk into a room slowly, shoulders back, chin up, not trying to take attention, but somehow they just do? That's power. That's energy control. And let's be honest, charisma without humor is like a gym without weights. It's useless. Humor is what breaks down walls. You don't have to be a stand-up comedian, but you need to be comfortable enough with yourself to laugh at life. And sometimes at yourself. It makes people relax. It disarms their guard. According to a Gallup survey, people who use humor effectively are 40% more likely to be viewed as approachable, trustworthy, and likable. Because humor isn't just funny, it's human. Now, storytelling, this is the big one. The most charismatic people are master storytellers. You could tell a story about losing your keys, and if you tell it with emotion, energy, and timing, people will hang on every word. Why? Because storytelling lights up the brain. Neuroscientists at Stanford University found that stories are up to 22 times more memorable than facts alone. So when you share something real, something emotional, something you're not just talking, you're connecting neuron to neuron. And here's the fun part. You don't even need crazy experiences to tell great stories. You just need honesty. You can tell a story about how you spilled coffee on yourself before a meeting. And if you own it with confidence, people will laugh with you, not at you. That's charisma, the ability to take life's small moments and make them meaningful. But the problem is, most people never practice charisma. They think it's either you have it or you don't. Wrong. You build it. Every conversation, every interaction, every time you decide to show up as the most grounded, confident version of yourself, you're training charisma like a muscle. So stop trying to act charismatic. Start being comfortable in your own skin. That's what people actually respond to, because when you're authentic, relaxed, confident, funny, and present, you're not performing. You're commanding. So now that you know what charisma is, let's talk about how to build it, because it's not some mystical gift the universe gives to a lucky few. It's repetition. It's awareness. It's deliberate action. You build charisma the same way you build muscle, through consistent reps, real self-awareness, and a bit of discomfort. Step 1. Fix your internal dialogue. You cannot act confident on the outside if your inner voice is tearing you apart on the inside. You walk into a room thinking, "No one likes me," and your body language will betray you instantly. You'll slouch, avoid eye contact, talk too fast, fidget. You'll literally broadcast insecurity before you open your mouth. But if you walk in thinking, "I belong here, I bring value. I'm not better than anyone, but no one's better than me either," that mindset changes everything. Your presence strengthens. People pick up that silent self-belief, and they start believing it too. Step 2. Own your environment. Charismatic people don't enter rooms. They command them, not in a loud, arrogant way, but with certainty. When you stand, stand tall. When you walk, walk like there's purpose behind every step. Don't dart your eyes around nervously. Pick a spot. Ground yourself. You ever notice how people who truly believe in themselves seem to slow time down when they move? That's not acting. That's alignment between thought and action. Step 3. Master your tone. Your voice is your weapon. Speak too fast, and you sound anxious. Speak too slow, and you sound unsure. Speak with rhythm and controlled pauses, and you sound powerful. There's a reason great speakers use silence, like punctuation. It builds tension, confidence, respect. People lean in when you pause, not when you shout. Step 4. Become emotionally flexible. Real charisma isn't about always being high energy. It's about matching your energy to the moment. Know when to be funny, when to be serious, when to listen, and when to lead. That emotional adaptability makes people feel safe with you. They trust that you understand the moment. And step 5. Practice micro-charisma. That's every small interaction in your daily life. The way you talk to a barista, greet a stranger, handle small talk. These moments might seem insignificant, but they're where you train your social muscle. Smile, hold eye contact, give genuine compliments. That's how you build a habit of being magnetic, not just when it matters, but all the time. And here's something nobody tells you. Charisma grows fastest when you stop caring about impressing people. The second you stop performing, you start radiating. When your goal shifts from "I hope they like me" to "I hope they feel good around me," everything changes. You become relaxed, confident, natural. And ironically, that's when everyone starts liking you. Because charisma isn't about spotlighting yourself. It's about making others shine in your presence. It's not about being the loudest voice. It's about being the one everyone listens to when you finally speak. To. Here's the truth. Most people will never tell you charisma is not about getting people to like you. It's about learning to like yourself. It's about becoming so solid in who you are that the world can feel it before you even say a word. People are drawn to certainty. When you stop doubting yourself, the world stops doubting you too. You want to build charisma, stop chasing approval. Approval is cheap. Confidence is earned. Every time you walk into a room and choose to stand tall instead of shrinking, every time you speak honestly instead of playing safe, every time you show up even when you're nervous, you're building it. You're stacking layers of quiet confidence that turn into undeniable energy. Because people can smell authenticity, they can sense when you're trying too hard, and they can sense when you're real. Real always wins. Always. Charisma is just the outward reflection of an inner truth, that you're enough. You don't need to fake it, force it, or fabricate it. You just need to own it. Let me tell you this, there will always be someone louder, funnier, richer, more experienced, but no one can replicate your energy. No one can copy your story. That's your power. That's what makes you magnetic. A study by UCLA found that over 80% of how people perceive charisma comes down to nonverbal communication, your tone, your confidence, your energy. Which means words are just the surface. What people really feel is your conviction. You can memorize scripts all day long, but if you don't believe your own words, no one else will either. So the next time you walk into a room, don't think, I hope they like me. Think, let's see who's worth my energy. That small shift turns you from follower to leader, from needy to magnetic, because real charisma isn't about being admired. It's about being remembered. It's about leaving people feeling better, stronger, more alive after being around you. That's the legacy of a truly charismatic person. They don't just light up rooms, they ignite people. So start now. Work on your body language, your voice, your mindset, your authenticity. But most importantly, work on your energy. Because charisma doesn't start when you walk into a room. It starts when you wake up and decide to show up as someone who knows their worth. And once you master that, once your energy becomes unshakable, your presence undeniable, your confidence quiet but unbreakable, you'll realize something powerful. You never needed to build charisma. You just needed to uncover it. It was always in you. You just had to stop hiding it. Too.